this, I will explain the assignment questions, the basic logic of this assignment question. So here, first question is create and display two multi-lists as shown below. I hope in creating the multi-list you don't have any difficulty. The reason is I have already provided you the multi-list creation and also explained you how to create the multi-list. Let will move on to the previous programs. So you may pick up this program from the Google Classroom or the link given in the Google Classroom. So here multi-linked list. So this is a C program to convert sparse matrix into multi-list. So here I have converted this sparse matrix into multi-list. But you can manually enter the values to the multi-list, assuming that there exists a non-zero element in the matrix. For example, here creation of the multi-list here, insert at end. Okay, this is the insert operation that you can do actually. Instead of here, we have defined this particular struct C node. This is the column node values, and R node, which is the row node values. Here we can you can construct two structures like this, and you can make the struct R node star list is equal to null. So you can make the list one. Okay, struct R node star list one is equal to null, and the same way struct R node star list 2 is equal to null. Since we are supposed to merge these two lists, you can make struct R node star list 3 is equal to null. So like that you can create three lists. So you can rename it as list 1, list 2 and list 3. Okay. So here we have tested with here we have made a condition that whether the sparse matrix, whenever you are reading the sparse matrix, whether the element is a zero element or non-zero element. If it is a non-zero element, then we are going to insert that particular number into the linked list. Now what you are supposed to do is you are supposed to remove that particular condition, and manually you are supposed to enter the data. This is the small change that you are supposed to make in this. Okay, whenever you make this, obviously here C node is there, C node empty is checking, C node display list display. Init R node. Okay, what are the other functions to be used for insertion? Here init R node. So here the initialization will be done. Now the currently all the lists will be initialized to 0 or null. That means here, for example, I want three columns. Sorry, three rows I want. That means 0, 1, 2. So initially you create 0, 1, 2 and initialize it to null. So here currently here number of rows are there, right? According to the sparse matrix we have done. But here according to the number of rows that you want. Here in the diagram you have three rows. So you can make it as I is equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus, and you initialize three rows as null. Then you have to ask the user in which row you want to enter this node. So if the user has given 0th node, then in the 0th row, then in the 0th row that particular element need to be entered. That means I want to enter in the 0th row. So in the 0th row you have to enter the 49. Okay, and you repeatedly ask the user at which row you want to enter. So 0th row 49. Next again I will ask again the particular do while loop or while do loop that what you use will keep on repeating, and it will ask you it will ask the user via a menu, okay, which row or in which row you want to insert the node. So the user keep on giving 0 for 3 times and will enter 49, 43 and 41, and 1 is a row for 3 times and he will enter 13, 12 and 11, and 2 is the row number will be entered by the user, and 4 nodes will be inserted: 37, 31, 38 and 36. So here we have considered inserting at end, okay, insert at end. So that is the reason whenever the 37 was given, first 37 will be inserted. Next, when 31 is given, it will be inserted at end. So 31 will be given, will be assigned to the list at the end. Next 38 will be assigned to that list at the end. Next 36. Like that, you are supposed to do for the first list using this root pointer, that is list 1. And next, the same thing to be done for the list 2 also. Okay, in the multi-list, list 2 also. Now you have list 1 and list 2 in your hand. Now you are supposed to perform the, I hope you might have done the sorting of the list in the tutorial. The same sorting the list to be done on these 3 rows. So you may do it in row wise or column wise, but column wise is somewhat difficult to do. So first you do with the row wise. So 41, 43, 49. Next 11, 12, 13, 31, 36, 37, 38. So this is the order you will get here. Here you will get the order like here 29 here, okay, 23, 24, 27, 29, 3, 7, 9 and 53, 55, 59. So basically how the sorting will be done is you are supposed to make 2 pointers here. First is current pointer, that is head, like that. This head will be kept in temporary, and you take another pointer to point to the next element. Now the current that is temporary data, that is which is pointing to the head or the first node, is compared with the next node's data. If both are if the first node data is greater than the second node data, then what you are supposed to do is you swap the data. Okay, you just to swap the data. That is temp. Assume that this is temp 1 and this is temp 2. If temp 1 data is greater than temp 2 data, then swap the data elements. Okay, then this swap the data. So now 43 will come here and 49 will come here. Now next, move this temp 2 to the next node. Now you compare with this temp 1. Sorry, here temp 1, right? So once you move this temp to the next node, and anyhow this 49, 49, 43 was here and 49 was here. Now this temp 2 is moved to the next node and temp 1 is also moved to the next node. Now you compare temp 1 data with the temp 2 data. Now 49 here, actually after swapping here you will get the 49. 49 is greater than 41. So you swap it. So 41 will come here and 49 will come here. So it is like a simple bubble sort. Next, you know how many nodes are there. Till that entire list is sorted, you keep on repeating the same operation. The same way on the second row. That is here, this is the 0th row, and the same thing on the first row, and the same thing on the second row. Like that, you perform on these 3 rows. Okay. Now the first row is sorted, second row is sorted, and third row is sorted. Here also in the second list, first row is sorted, second row is sorted, and third row is sorted. Now you are supposed to perform the merge sort on the multi-list 1 and multi-list 2. Okay, you are supposed to perform the merge sort. So in the merge sort, what you do is first you will compare the first element with the second element. Now just you calculate how many nodes are there: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 are there. So the third multi-list you may divide, you may add in any way, whatever the way you want. In third multi-list may consisting of 5 rows, and each row may have four nodes attached. So thereby 5 rows into 4 nodes, that means 20 nodes. That is up to you. That is your wish. According to your wish, you may add the third multi-list, create the third multi-list, and add these two in the sorted order by applying the merge sort. So write a function to sort the elements in the multi-list in ascending order. Display the sorted multi-list individually. So display function is already there. In the display function, what you are supposed to do is you are supposed to pass the third multi-list. Then it will automatically print the multi-list. Write a function to merge the sorted multi-list obtained in part A. Display the multi-list after merging. Note that the elements in the merged multi-list should be in the ascending order at each level. At each level, please remember here, at each level. That means at the first row, 0th row, second row, first row, and second row. If you might have created a third multi-list with 5 rows, at the first row, all the elements must be in sorted order. Second row also in the sorted order. Third row also in sorted order. Okay. So at each level, because if you want to rearrange the multi-list, obviously it is not possible at present with you, I think so. But you can do the sorting and merging of level, that is first row, second row, third row. That is possible. But restructuring of multi-list, obviously you are supposed to put lot of effort. So sometimes you may stuck up in the infinite loop also, and sometimes your compiler will go off and it may come out of this IDE, and you may get some warning messages. So this kind of things are possible. So one student has sent a um, what you call whether to go in the restructuring of the entire multi-list or to sort at the level order. So I recommended him to go for level order only, because in the question it was given the order at each level. Okay. So this is up to the first question. Anyhow, the core content is provided to you via this code. The only thing is you are supposed to change this code according to the requirement. So this is what this first question in the assignment. While coming to the next question, we will move on to the second question now. The second question is write a function to match the open parenthesis with the closed parenthesis in a mathematical expression using an array based stack. So this is quite simple. It is just like a infix to the prefix expression, postfix expression, in which you will compare the brackets, open bracket and closed bracket. So this open and closed bracket mathematical expression comparison can be done. Note that. So let mathematical expression is like this: a plus b star d by e. So here, how many open brackets are there? That many closed brackets must be there. So you are supposed to start reading the string. So that is the reason, since it is a string is the collection of characters. So that is the reason you are supposed to maintain a character tag. Okay. So first you read the character open bracket, then A. If the character is A other than this brackets, then you can skip it. And now you push this particular bracket into the stack. Now, if it is not bracket, then the character can be skipped. Now you have got the open bracket. Next, read the next character B. Now you have got the B, so it can be skipped. Next star, it can be skipped. Now you got the open bracket. Now D can be skipped. Division can be skipped. E can be skipped. Now you got the closed bracket. Okay, closed bracket. Next closed bracket. Next closed bracket. So here the end of the string will come. That means \0 in case of C programming. Or if you might have placed an end of string like dollar or something, you can traverse the string up to the end of the string, that is dollar or something. Then you can make use of this expression. So whenever this particular stack is whenever the end of the string is reached, now check whether the stack is empty or not. Till stack is not empty, pop the elements. Pop the elements from the stack. Now the first element to be popped is bracket close. Okay, next bracket close, next bracket close. Then bracket open, bracket open, bracket open. Okay. So now you are supposed to compare how many bracket closes are there with the how many number of bracket opens are there. So if number of bracket opens is matched with the number of bracket close, or number of bracket close are matched with the number of bracket open, that means the expression is having the correct way of bracket open and close. Assume that I have not given this bracket close. Okay, then I may not get this bracket close here. So 2 bracket closes are there, but 3 bracket opens are there. So thereby what will happen, number of closed brackets is less than the number of open brackets, hence the expression cannot be evaluated. So this is the way you can conclude this expression evaluation with the brackets. This is regarding the second question. Next, coming to the third question. If you want order, then you are supposed to reverse the string and read the string and use the stack. Okay. So that means if you reverse the string, you will get the closed bracket. For the closed bracket, you got the open bracket or not. That we will check. You are given a queue data structure. Write a program to implement stack using only given queue data structure. Is we can say here you are given a queue data structure. Write a program to implement stack using only given single queue data. Obviously, what you are supposed to do is whenever you are having queue, let's assume that you have queue like this. Okay. The elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is the queue you are having, and for example, you want to enter these elements into the queue. But if you enter the elements into the stack, assume that these are the list of elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you implement a stack, then first one will be inserted into the stack, then 2 will be inserted, then 3, 4, 5, then 6. So this is the way of insertion. So if you read all these elements out, it will be printed in the reverse order. That is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, but if you read the same in queue, you are supposed to print in the same order. whatever is inserted first, that should be come first. So that reason, what we'll do is, for every insertion into the queue, we'll perform. First we'll check how many elements are there in the queue, and these elements should be popped out. That means you are supposed to remove all the elements from the queue and insert again in the order of removal. So whenever it is inserted in the order of removal, what will happen? The elements will be inserted in the reverse order. So thereby, whatever the element that is inserted at last, that means whatever the element that you have read beginning, read at the end, will be inserted first. So thereby, whenever you dequeue the elements will be printed in the reverse order. Then it will look like a stack. So this is the way we are supposed to implement the stack using queues. Not a lengthy procedure, not lengthy in sense repetitively you have to use the loop here. Now once you insert the element into the queue, then what you're supposed to do is you are supposed to you have to take care of the size of the queue, get the size of the queue. Let a size is S. Then dequeue in the sense getting deleting the number of elements. Okay, deleting the elements. Dequeue S elements from the queue. Dequeue S elements from the queue. Okay, and once you dequeue S elements from the queue, after dequeuing, insert these dequeued elements again in the queue. So thereby what will happen, once you dequeue the elements, then the elements will be printed in elements will be coming in the same order of insertion. But whenever you got these elements in the same order of insertion, obviously if you again insert these elements, then it will be arranged again in the reverse order. Insert these dequeued elements again in the queue. So that means first which element you will get? First you will get the first one as the element. Next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So whenever you get this these elements, okay, and next one is seventh element. 7 is the element. So now whenever you got these elements, so last element that what you got is 7. Now you are supposed to insert these elements in the reverse order. So whenever you insert these elements in the reverse order, then you will get 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is the order that you that will be maintained. So insert these dequeued elements again in the queue. So this will be repeated. Repeat for every insertion. Repeat it for every insertion. So repeat it for every insertion. Once all the insertions are over, then normally dequeue all elements and print. So this is the way you are supposed to implement stack using queue. That means this particular operation need to be done for every insertion. So if you have inserted one element, then you are supposed to dequeue the list of elements, get the size of the elements. So you are supposed to do it for every insertion into the queue. So once if you find that insertion is over into the queue, then normally print all the elements. So this is what the stack implementation using Q. Next, fourth question is task 1 to be done in code. Obviously, first task to be done with the code, and task 2 to be handwritten. Using C programming, store your roll number, phone number, and your parents' account number. Like, okay, you cannot store parents' account number. You may write your Aadhaar number, no problem. This should be done with the help of file. That means you are supposed to use file star fp. Fp is equal to fopen of okay temp.txt in the write mode. In the write mode. So you are supposed to create a file like this. Just to recall the file handling in C programming. Now manually you are supposed to enter this file content, your roll number, phone number, and Aadhaar number. Do not open the notepad, etc., and create this file. That is what just I am saying. Okay, don't open the notepad and do it. You are supposed to do via program, C program. Either it may be C program or C++. If you know the C++, then you may use streams like F stream. You may use. If it is Java programming, then file reader or file writer you may use. If it is Python programming, simple file handling you may use. Then do not open the notepad, etc. Create the file. Store these details via code and then do processing using code to separate out each digit and create an array of what is this? Store these details via code. Okay, store these details via code means user will give the input and that input need to be stored. Please remember, once the input is stored, you are supposed to close the file. Okay, then only it will be stored. Fclose of fp. Okay, here reading of the content. You are supposed to say while ch not equal to something. Okay, ch not equal to some @ or something. You are supposed to read the character. Okay, you are supposed to read the character. Ch is equal to read of fp dot read or something. That means you look at the file reading options. Anyhow, sorry. Here you are supposed to read from command prompt. So get char. So you are supposed to read from command prompt. So that means it is get char. You may convert it into integer also. After get char, you may say int. Okay, or you can say ch not equal to 0. You may place it in integer like int digit is equal to this one. Then you are supposed to place this in the file. You are supposed to place this diz in the file. Once this character @ whenever the @ is reached, then this reading will be stopped and the file will be closed. When the file is closed, then the content will be saved into the file permanently. This thing you are supposed to follow. Store these details via code and then do processing using code to separate out each digit. That means again what you're supposed to do is you are supposed to open this file. Okay, again you are supposed to open this file in the read mode. Okay, you are supposed to read it. You are supposed to open this file in the read mode. Basically, you are supposed to open this file in the read mode. Now, processing using code to separate each digit and create an array of single digit into 8. single digit into 8. What is the meaning of this? Okay. Uh, Single digit means here 1 is a single digit. First character, that is you are supposed to read the first one, and this is the first. That means this is single digit 1. 1 into 8, that is 8. Okay. Okay. Next 8 is the second character. 8 into 8, 64. Like that, you are supposed to read character by character or integer by integer, and multiply these things into these things with 8. That is, each digit must be multiplied with 8. Then you will get this list. During this process, ignore 0. If the that means you are supposed to while reading the integers from the file, you have to keep a condition that if character that what you have read converted into integer is equal to 0, then continue. Continue means that will be skipped. Now, this is the resultant array, or this is the resultant elements that you will get. Now here the question was asked is, store the details via code and then do processing using code to separate out each digit and create an array of single digit. Okay. Do we need to store this resultant again into the file, or we need to print onto the screen? Here there is no mentioning of that. Assume that we are supposed to place it in the same file. Now you are supposed to place it in the same file or any other new file. So it is better to place in new file. So whenever this is in the open mode, then you create another file. You create another file, say temp1. So temp1.txt, you read the digit by digit from temp1.txt and multiply with 8. If it is 0, skip it. Whatever the multiplication by 8 is there, that you again place it in the temp1. So thereby you will get the temp1.txt with this particular list of elements. Once you got this, task 2, dry run merge sort and write all recursive calls and the value every recursive call returns. So the dry run means here you are supposed to write this task to handwritten. That means you are supposed to write on paper step by step how the merge sort algorithm will work on this list of elements. You can write the program also instead of writing on hand. Okay. Program writing is very easy because simply you pass this list into the merge sort algorithm. Obviously, merge sort algorithm will sort these in a list of elements. Okay. Or instead of we can make this task easy. We can instead of making this temp, let will declare int a of say for example here estimated list of elements are around say 30. Okay, so a of 30 is equal to -1. So what is the meaning of this? All the slots in the array of 30 will be initialized with -1. Okay. Then whenever you multiply with the 8, just to keep on inserting into this array. Okay. So now the array will be having the list of elements, and while you are inserting the elements into the array, you will maintain an index. Whenever multiplication is done, then a of I plus plus is equal to the element into 8. So that means this I plus plus is the length of the array. Now once it is done, then what you can do is you take the help of merge sort algorithm, that code that what you have written, merge sort of a comma 0 comma I, that's all. So you the merge sort will be done, and print I print this display of a comma I. So obviously it will display the sorted array. Okay, for your understanding, whether you have really understood the merge sort algorithm or not, I hope a teacher might have madam might have given this handwritten procedure, that is step-by-step explanation of this merge sort algorithm. Next, fifth question is dry run and write all the recursive calls of quicksort and the value every recursive call returns array created in the question 1. Here question 1 means not this question 1, this is the question 1, means previous question, that is question 5 I think so, because on this quicksort is very difficult task. So so you are supposed to assume this one, this array, I hope so. This I think mistakenly written question 1, this question 4. Now given an array of strings or character arrays, size of array n and n an integer value k, implement quicksort to sort first k value. So first k value means it is the user choice, how many elements he wants to sort. That means how many elements he want in sorted order. You may give k as 3 or k as 5 or k as 7, that is user's wish, I hope here. First sort first k values in the array according to the list of strings and display them. Now example is ABC, DEFF, GHS, V, comma Z. Okay, this question was asked by some student in the last lecture as a doubt. That means here number of k is the number of elements that you want in the sorted order. Here the number of elements are 14 here, and k is equal to 5. The output is V, Z, Q, P, K, I. So that means you are supposed to take length of each string. Okay, you are supposed to take the length of each string. Based upon the length of each string, you are supposed to go for quicksort. Okay, first you are supposed to perform sorting on the single digits, single characters. Then if there is no single character, then you are supposed to perform quicksort on the 2 characters. Then if 2 characters are over, then you are supposed to perform the sorting on the 3 characters string and 4 character strings, like that. You are supposed to increase the length of the characters for sorting, they based upon the k. If the k is 6, then ki will be tested. After that kj will be tested. Okay, now you will get kj also if it is k is equal to 6. If k is equal to 10, then sometimes it may go to the searching of uh, all the strings with length 2, 3, and it may go to the 4 also. 4 is not possible. 4 means it is almost around 14th character, 14th element. So maybe all the three character length strings will be sorted. Okay, this is what the quicksort algorithm. The same thing it was asked for the merge sort also. You are supposed to do it for the merge sort also. That means first what you are supposed to do is you are supposed to identify the string length. Okay, you may use strlen for quick process. If you want to do from scratch, you can do it. Okay, calculate the string length, store it in a temporary array string length. Depending upon the k value, first process the lowest string length, that is 1. Perform the quicksort on the lowest string length, then perform the quicksort on the Next highest, that is like 2 digits or 2 characters. Next 3 characters, 4 characters. Like that, you are supposed to perform this quick sort and merge sort as well. Next, compare the time complexity of question 4 and question 5 and make your suggestion for better approach out of these two. Question 4 and question 5. Here there is no time complexity for this question 4 and question 5. Actually, maybe this may be again a mistake here. The question is 6 and 7, I think so. The comparison between the time complexity of 6 and 7. Irrespective of whatever is the way of doing, sorting whether on the strings or on the elements or with respect to the length of the string, the time complexity of the quick sort and merge sort in the best case is order of n log n. But sometimes this kind of twists like identifying the length of the string, then doing this, it may go into the worst case if the number of strings are more in the array. So currently it is 14 only. If there are around 10,000 or 20,000 elements in an array, then it is a tedious task. So that is the reason quicksort will always give the order of n log n time complexity in the best case, in the average case also. But whenever while it coming to the worst case, the quicksort will go for order of n square complexity, where in case of merge sort, either it is in the best case or average case or worst case, it will always perform order of log n complex. Sorry, it is order of n log n complex. So this is what the questions given in the assignment 1. So carefully you complete this assignment.